Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good afternoon, Pak Munir, and good afternoon, all of my friends. Thank you for the chance for us to present our PPT about literature for language teaching materials and teaching literature. I'm Kristanti Ayu Anita with my friends, with my partner, Ibu Heni Uswatun Hasanah. Let us explain about our PPT. This is about let's open the slide, Bu Heni.
Yeah, okay, I will open. It's a minute.
Okay, we will discuss about
Ada Bu Kris,
literature for language teaching. Belum.
Tadi sudah. Tadi sudah masuk. Bentar.
Tapi sinyalnya bagus ya di pulau sana ya, Bu Heni.
Bagus sekali.
Okay, this is about literature for language teaching materials and teaching literature. Exploring the use of literature in language learning. What is literature in language teaching? In language teaching, literature refers to the use of literary texts such as poems, short stories, novels, plays, and essays as a resource to teach language skills. These texts expose learners to authentic language usage, rich vocabulary, complex sentence structures, and cultural expressions. Literature serves both as a tool for language learning and a way to explore broader cultural, historical, and emotional contexts. It helps learners develop language proficiency while simultaneously encouraging critical thinking, creativity, and empathy by connecting them to diverse human experiences. Why use literature in language teaching? By using literature in language teaching offers several key benefits. For example, it can enhance vocabulary and grammar, exposes learners to authentic language use, because by using authentic literature, it can make students know about the authentic literature, helping them acquire new vocabulary, idiomatic expressions, and complex sentence structures in context. The other benefit is it can develop critical thinking. Literary texts often present multiple layers of meaning, encouraging students to analyze, interpret, and engage critically with the material. These aspects make literature a powerful tool in language teachings, enriching students' linguistic and cultural knowledge while fostering deeper emotional and intellectual engagement. Another benefit is it can improve cultural understanding. By using literature, it can reflect diverse cultures, traditions, and societal issues, enabling learners to gain insights into different ways of life and values. Next benefit, it can stimulate imagination and creativity. Engaging with stories, poems, or plays, it can encourage students to explore their creativity, fostering a more personal and imaginative approach to language learning. Next, promote emotional engagement. Literature often deals with universal human experiences, making it relatable and emotionally engaging, which can motivate learners to participate more actively in language lessons. The next is authenticity. Literary text over real life language that goes beyond textbook examples, providing a rich and varied language environment. This is some types of literature for language teaching. The first is prose. This is like short stories, novels, that can make students improve. It can help the students improve their grammar, their reading comprehensions. Next, about portrait. This is and next about drama. Students can encourage drama encourage students to practice spoken language through role play, dialogue, and dramatic interpretation. So they also have it can also help to develop listening and speaking skills while enhancing cultural and contextual understanding. What else? This is about folktales and fables by teaching folktales and fables. This is can make students convey moral lessons and cultural values. This is can make students know about folktales and fables. This is more apa ya? Students can know some folktales and fables from their city, maybe from their hometown, maybe. Next, essays and non-fictions, non-fiction literature such as essays, autobiographies, and biographies, and others. This is can it helps in improving reading comprehension, critical thinking, and expository writing skill. Next, number 6, children's literature. By picture books and children's stories can be very helpful for young language learners. It usually contains simple language, repetitive structures, and illustration that support and make young learners easy to understand, easy to comprehend the literature. Graphic novels and comic. This is visual forms of literature can be particularly engaging for learners. They combine text with images. It can helping students to grasp meaning through context and supporting the language comprehensions. Some benefits of using literature as language teaching material. This is it can enhance language skills. expands vocabulary and grammar knowledge. It can cultural awareness and intercultural competence. It can improve critical thinking and analytical skills. It can stimulate creativity and imagination. Engages emotions and empathy. Authentic language use fosters a lifelong love of reading, flexible learning opportunities, and improve cultural and emotional intelligence. Next one. Next slide.
Okay, thank you, Bu Tanti. I wanna it is my turn or still you?
No. Still my turn in challenges.
It's a minute. It is
Next slide. Slide ya. Slide ke-9.
challenges, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, some challenges of using literature in language teachings. It can complex language and vocabulary, cultural references, abstract or symbolic meanings, time constraints, student motivation and interest, teachers' expertise, assessment difficulties, balancing literary content with language objectives, inaccessibility of literary texts, and adapting literature for different learning styles. Okay, thank you. It can continue, Bu Henny, to next slide. Bu Henny, please.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Bu Tanti. Next, I wanna continue to explain about the strategies for using literature in language teaching. For the first is select appropriate text. What does it mean? It means choose text that match the language proficiency of your student. It is for level appropriate literature. For beginners, use simplified versions of classic works, graded readers, or short stories. For more advanced learners, you can introduce authentic literary texts such as novel, plays, or poems. For the second, to select appropriate text is relatable themes. Select literature that aligns with the in-class and cultural backgrounds of your student to increase engagement and motivation. Modern works or those with universal themes such as friendship, family, conflict can be especially effective. Okay, for the second, pre-reading activities. Activate prior knowledge. Before reading the text, engage students in discussion or activities that activate their existing knowledge related to text themes, setting, or cultural background. This helps build a connection with the materials and prepares them for what they will encounter. For the second pre-reading activities, introduce key vocabulary and context. Present important words or phrases from the text and explain any cultural or historical context that may be unfamiliar. This will help students comprehend the text more easily. For the third strategies, use excerpts or short text. For the first, focus on excerpts. Instead of reading an entire novel or play, consider using excerpt or key passage. This makes it easier to focus on specific language structures, themes, or character development without overwhelming students with long readings. The second, short stories and poems. These literary forms are compact and allow for focused study of language and meaning. They are also less time-consuming, making them ideal for class discussion and activities. The fourth strategies is interactive reading technique. There are three techniques, yeah. For the first, role play and dramatization. Use drama and role-playing technique to bring text, especially plays and dialogues, to life. This allows students to practice speaking and listening skills while immersing themselves in the characters and situation from the text. The second techniques, reading cycles. In reading cycles, students take on different roles. Spirit to be who is the summarizer, who is questioner, vocabulary master, and work together to analyze and discuss the text. This encourages collaborative learning and helps students approach the text from different perspectives. The last technique, jigsaw reading. Divide the class into groups and assign each group a different section of the text. The reading groups share this section with each other, reconstructing the full story. This encourages teamwork and comprehension through summarizing and sharing information. And the last technique and the last strategies is post-reading activities. In post-reading activities here, for the first, discussion and debate. Engage students in discussion or debates on the themes, characters, or moral issues presented in the text. Encourage students to express their opinion, justify their interpretation, and compare different viewpoints. The second post-reading activities is creative responses. Students to create alternative endings, write a diary entry from a character's perspective, or rewrite a scene using modern language. These activities encourage students to engage deeply with the text and enhance their writing and creative thinking skills. And the last post-reading activities is critical analysis. For more advanced students, focus on analyzing the literary elements of the text, such as theme, symbolism, or motif, while still practicing language skill like writing and speaking. Encourage students to critique or offer interpretation of the text. The second, use the sixth, integrate language focus. Yeah, maybe it can, maybe, yeah, you use grammar and vocabulary in context, text-based language exercise. And the seventh strategies, use multimedia resources. The teacher can use film and audio adaptation and audio books and read aloud. The number 8, personalized learning. The teacher can choose a text, so give the students some autonomy by allowing them to choose from a selection of the text. Offering different genres or authors enables them to explore literature that aligns with their interests, making the learning process more meaningful and engaging. In personalized learning here, for the second, project-based learning. Assign project where students can research and present on themes, authors, and historical context related to the literature. Number 9, cultural exploration. Consists of cultural comparison and guest speakers or author studies. The 10, assessment and feedback, consists of formative assessment and rubric for literary analysis. And the last, strategies, use literature to teach multiple skills. By using these strategies, literature can become a dynamic and effective tool for enhancing language learning, fostering deeper cultural understanding, and building students' critical thinking and creative abilities. Okay, continue for the objective. What are the objectives of teaching literature? For the first, language development. The second, cultural understanding. The third, critical thinking skill. 4, creativity and imagination. 5, emotional and social development. 6, moral and ethical development, fostering a love for reading. Number 7, integration of interdisciplinary learner. 9, enhancing motivational learning environment. And last, language proficiency and fluency. Approaches to teaching literature. We have 12 approaches to teaching literature. But the first is historical approach. What is historical approach? This approach emphasizes understanding literature in its historical and cultural context. Students explore the background of the author, the era in which the work was written, and the societal issues reflected the text. And literary movement here in historical approach, teach students about different literary movement. For example, Romanticism, Modernism, post-colonialism, and how this movement influenced the themes and style of literature. The second approach is thematic approach. This approach centers around specific themes or motif. For example, identity, love, conflict, present in various literary works. Students can compare and contrast how different authors tackle similar themes across genres and cultures by linking themes to other students, to other subjects. I mean, history, sociology, psychology. This approach enriches student understanding of the literature and its relevant to real life issues. The third approach is formalist approach. This approach prioritizes the analysis of the text itself, focusing on literary elements such as structure, form, style, imagery, and symbolism without considering external factors that like authorial intent or historical context. The fourth, reader response approach. This approach encourages students to respond to literature based on their personal experience, emotions, and interpretation. 5, cultural studies approach. This approach examines how literature reflects and shapes cultural identities, exploring themes related to race, gender, class, and sexuality. 6, genre-based approach. This approach categorizes literature into genres like poetry, drama, fiction, non-fiction, and teaches students the conventions and characteristics of each genre. 7, Socratic method. This approach uses open-ended questions to stimulate critical thinking and discussion among students. 8, creative approach. Students engage in creative projects such as writing their own stories, creating visual art, or performing scenes from plays, allowing them to express their understanding of the literature creatively. Number 9, comparative approach. This approach encourages students to read and analyze literature from different cultures, comparing themes, styles, and narrative to understand universal human experience and cultural understanding. 10, inquiry-based approach. The 11, digital and multimodal approach, and the last, experiential approach. Okay. Experiential learning itu the last. By employing a combination of these approaches, educators can create a dynamic and enriching literature curriculum that not only enhance student language skill but also foster critical thinking, cultural awareness, and a lifelong love of reading. Incorporating literature into language classroom, yeah, there are 12. by select of appropriate text, thematic unit, close reading activities, creative assignment, group discussion, and Socratic seminars, literature cycles incorporating technology, cultural contextualization, journals and reflective writing, assessment and evaluation, guest speakers and author visit, field trips and literary event. Case study, literary in language teaching. In here, the example case study incorporating literature in language teaching. Konteksnya, this case study focuses on high school English language classroom where the teacher, Miss Anna, integrates literature into her language teaching curriculum to enhance student language skill and cultural understanding. The students are diverse in terms of language proficiency and cultural backgrounds, and the class aims to develop their reading, writing, listening, and speaking skill through literature. What is the objective? The objective in case study here, enhance language skill, second cultural awareness, three critical thinking. Selected literary works as of story, poems, novels, and teaching strateginya use thematic units, close reading and analysis, group discussion and literature cycles, creative writing assignment, cultural contextualization, technology integration. And how about the assessment and evaluation that used by Miss Anna? Different assessment method, peer assessment, and self-reflection. And about the outcomes, there are three outcomes. For the first, improved language skill, the second, cultural awareness, and the third, critical thinking. How about the challenges encountered? Diverse reading levels, engagement levels. And the conclusion, Miss Anna's case study demonstrates that integrating literature into language teaching can significantly enhance the student language skills, cultural awareness, and critical thinking abilities. By employing diverse literary works and innovative teaching strategies, educators can create a dynamic classroom environment that fosters a love for literature and support language development. Yeah. And this case study can serve as a model for other educators looking to enrich their language curriculum with literature while addressing the diverse needs of their students. So it's based on the student needs, yeah. Conclusion. Okay, this is the conclusion. Integrating literature into language teaching offers significant benefit that enhance the language skill while deepening their understanding of culture and social values. The case study of Miss Anna highlights several key points. For the first, improved language skills. Engaging with diverse literary work allows students to expand their vocabulary, grasp language structure, and refine their writing skill. For the second, cultural awareness, literature serves as a window into different cultures, histories, and life experience. And the third, critical thinking and creativity, analyzing text and participating in group discussion encourage students to think critically, evaluate arguments, and make connection between literature and their personal experience. For the fourth, diverse pedagogical approaches. And the last, addressing challenges. Overall, incorporating literature into language education not only enriches students' learning experience, but also prepares the student to be critical readers and culturally aware global citizens. Through this approach, students learn not just the language itself, but also come to appreciate the complexities of human experience and diverse cultures. Okay, I think enough, Bu Tanti.
Okay, thank you, Bu Heni. Thank you for your times, audience, Pak Munir. We appreciate the opportunity to present in LLP subject with you all today. Sorry for
We
all
receive,
of our
we receive question
today.
and suggestion.
Yeah, for in the meeting ya. Thank
Yeah.
you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.